Good morning, Gasaholics. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got Gas, the Great American Auto Scene Morning Edition. Thanks for tuning in. You know, the latest news on the automotive scene is the merger of Chrysler with another organization. All right, now this is the third time Chrysler has been taken over by a foreign entity. Now think back, after Iacocca left Chrysler, Mercedes-Benz, Daimler-Benz took over Chrysler. How did that work out? Chrysler sales increased. Quality at Chrysler increased. Mercedes declined. Mercedes walked away. Now, along with those mergers, along the way, Chrysler had merged with a number of different companies or acquired different companies over the years. Chrysler was the owner of the Rhodes Group, a British car manufacturer that made sports cars. Some of you might remember the Sunbeam Tiger. That was one of the highlights of that company. They had smaller cars, little sedans as well, but the Rhodes Group was purchased by Chrysler. So was Simca. Now, Simca was a small French company. I had a 1937 Simca, or was it a Fiat Topolino? See, there's the catch. Fiat started Simca, or owned Simca. So a lot of the early Simcas were French. I also had a 1959 Simca Arundi. Fun little car. Loved that little thing. Had it when I was in high school. Now, the latest news is that Chrysler Corporation, or Fiat Chrysler, FCA, is now joining forces with Peugeot and Citroën. So FCA and PSA become, well, they've got a strange name. It has absolutely nothing to do with cars. As a matter of fact, it's a weird name, and it sounds more celestial than automotive. The new company will be called Stellantis. Is that a cellular company that's underwater? Next door neighbor to Atlantis? I don't know. But here's the problem I've got with this improvement, if you will, to the corporate structure. Fiat left this country in shambles. They left embarrassed. Peugeot left. Same situation. Reliability wasn't there. Citroën left this country. Again, reliability, not there. These are now the major players in what was the U.S. Chrysler Corporation. How's that going to work? Now, if you look at the history of PSA, which is Peugeot Citroën, they have absorbed General Motors. They absorbed Opel and Vauxhall. Now, these were General Motors products in Europe. Where are those cars now? Well, Vauxhall never really had a presence in the United States, but they're gone. Opel had a presence, but not on their own. They were sold through Buick dealers under their own brand name, and then the last Opels happened to be Isuzus. And we know what happened with Isuzu. General Motors was able to kill off their car division. They stopped bringing in the Opels. They still made some great cars over in Europe. But now, Opel's not owned by General Motors. It was failing. GM got rid of it to save money and got rid of Vauxhall, their British counterpart, and now it's part of PSA. So we have a lot of expatriates, or vehicles that were in this country, now part of PSA and FCA, and they're going to be called Stellantis, which really doesn't tell you what the heck they are. I mean, General Motors tells you it's an automotive company, General Motors. The Chrysler Corporation didn't really tell you it was Chrysler, an automotive company, but we know Chrysler's automotive. In the case of FCA, Fiat Chrysler, well, we knew Fiat's an automotive manufacturer, and Chrysler was. Now, what do these four major companies have in common? They've all been failing over the years. GM tried to buy Fiat many years ago, ended up giving them a whole bunch of cash so that they didn't have to buy them. Never understood that one. But Fiat has grown. Peugeot is grown. Citroën is grown. But they don't sell anything here in the United States. Why is that? Well, Fiat brought the 600 back. That's it. They brought the Alpha back. Alpha left this country too. So what we've got is we've got a company that's going to fix Chrysler. But they can't even fix themselves. Yes, Sam, Vauxhall was marketed through Pontiac for a very short period of time, and it didn't work out. Hi, Nigel, how are you doing? And Marcia Hill Lyle. So here's the organization that's going to come about. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles will be a 50-50 merger, stock basis only, on December, well, it'll start after the first quarter of 2021 with PSA. Now, PSA is primarily Peugeot and Citroën. They don't even mention Opel and Vauxhall in their listings, although they are the owner of these. Now, they merged because they were failing together and have shown great losses over the years. Fiat was failing. All right, so let's go back into the history. December 1974, Peugeot acquired 38% of Citroën. They increased their stake in then bankrupt company of 89%, thus creating PSA Group. PSA is short for Peugeot Société Anonyme. Now, becoming PSA Peugeot Citroën, the two had successful designs, and they marketed them as the GS and the CX. Peugeot was typically prudent in their finances, but yes, Sam, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of North America, Peugeot for Europe, South America, Citroën for Europe, China, Fiat, Italy. No reason for Fiat, Peugeot, Citroën in the U.S. Well, and with their reputation, Fiat has already proved the 600 is not a sales success. It sells okay, but people have shied away from it. And a lot of people may remember the history of those brands here in the country. This is a financial collaboration, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, since all these companies have been in failing condition over the years. So how do four failing companies join together to become profitable? That's my question and my concern. Now, Chrysler took over Rhodes Group and Simca and then sold them off. Peugeot bought out Talbot, and they kept going on. Talbot's gone now. But this was an acquisition, and they merged together. One company was stronger than the other. In this case, which one's the stronger? Is it PSA or is it Chrysler, FCA? Don't know. Now, I'm not sure the financials for the European holdings, but it is kind of strange that these companies are all merging together. Now, Renault was part of Chrysler at one point in time. They had an agreement. Renault was distributed by Chrysler Corporation before Mercedes got into the act. Chrysler also had agreements with Mitsubishi. That went away. And Mitsubishi's now been acquired by Nissan. So that's gone. AMC Renault, yeah, Alan. There were a number of AMCs that were actually Renault products. The Renault 5, hey, that was a cool car, especially the turbo version, because it had the wheels at the proper end driving. Rear-wheel drive. Mid-engine. Fast. Cool-looking car. Sam says FCA is stronger in North America. PSA is stronger in Europe, making a good combination. Potentially. Yes, Sam. But both companies are struggling in their own markets. Although they're strong, they have still had financial issues. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So this is going to take place the first quarter of 2021. The operations will be interesting. Whether they share product or use shared technology is unknown at this point in time. However, you can almost plan on that happening. Now, PSA Powertrain is a manufacturer of gas and diesel engines. They manufacture them for Ford, Jaguar, BMW, Land Rover. BMW? So they are involved with a number of other companies. Now, Ford Motor Company at one time had a partnership with Jaguar, Volvo, and Land Rover. They sold those off, and they are owned by other companies now. PSA and BMW have had an agreement to develop a 1.6-liter engine, and everyone's going smaller gas engines when they go to gas engines. Now, a lot of this, though, is gearing up to electric vehicles as well, which PSA is working hard on, and they have some product that is viable. Will those come over here? Because right now, the only thing electric that Chrysler has introduced was the electric Fiat. So they may be looking for additional things of that nature. Mark McGeorge, Plymouth Hillman Cricket. Well, yeah, that was an interesting one, the Cricket. I remember when Plymouth sold that. All right, so this is going to be happening. Chrysler is getting more and more diluted. Hopefully, none of the European models come in here, at least under their brand name, because I'm not sure. I don't understand the mergers to start with, to an extent, because when the government gave Fiat controlling interest in Chrysler, and they gave them, I think it was 20% to start with, Fiat purchased another 20 or 30% of Chrysler Corporation. You take a company that has failed and sell it to another company that has failed, that left this country in disgrace, and they're somehow going to bolster Chrysler? What have we seen? We've seen the same old tired designs since Mercedes or Daimler owned the Chrysler Corporation. There really has been nothing new. All right, more horsepower, more model variations. But what has come out of FCA that is new and exciting? Nothing. They said they were going to bring back the Barracuda. That didn't happen. The Magnum went away. The Charger replaced it. May have been a good move. Not many people wanted a station wagon. But what is going to happen now? With the combination of all these companies together, will they be stronger long term? Or is it going to be just like what happened with Daimler, where Chrysler improved but pulled Daimler down? We'll see what happens. Ram truck, you're right, Sam. That is one of the best-selling trucks in the country right now. Chrysler, the Ram trucks, have surpassed Chevrolet. Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Cherokee. Now the Jeep, they're coming out with a nice model. They're teasing us with the possibility of a Hemi engine in the Wrangler. It's possible. They've already sent out the press releases. They've showed the concept vehicle. Now, whether it makes it to production yet is still unknown, but I'll tell you what, the positive responses they've had are definitely going to push that forward just in time to compete against the Bronco. The biggest engine the Bronco is going to get is a V6. The Jeep, turbo, diesel, V6, and possibly a V8. Now, one of the things, a funny thing that's happened with this, and I think it's kind of funny, Ford has decided that Goodyear is going to be the supplier of tires for the Bronco. They've made Goodyear take the word Wrangler off their tire, and that is the model of the tires called the Wrangler. Well, they don't want the Wrangler name on the side of a Bronco because that's the model name of the Jeep. Interesting. But they're going with Goodyear. Strange, because Ford has always had a connection, a tight connection with Fiat, with Firestone. even though they had a lot of problems with Firestone tires that created issues with previous SUVs and their propensity to end up on their roof. The tires were failing, and that was a major recall for Firestone. Unfortunately, it tarnished Ford's reputation because that was the tire of choice they had. So what are we going to run into next? What is going to happen? Now, Chrysler of Europe owned Sunbeam, a British company. From 1901 through 1976 is the Sunbeam Company's heritage. There was a company called Hummer. It had nothing to do with the U.S. Hummer SUVs. 1868 through 1976. Singer, they made some cool sports cars, but they had sedans too, from 1905 to 1970. Another company called Comer, 1905 to 79. Hillman, and there's where Mark comes in with the cricket. The Hillman from 1907 to 1976. The Carrier, hadn't heard of this one, 1908 to 1977. The French Simca, and I've owned two of those. I liked them, but they were the front-engine rear-drive cars. The Simca Arundes, I liked those cars. They were fun, handled good, great gas mileage. 1934 to 1977. I take that back. I've had three. I told everyone I had a Topolino, but one of the differences between the Topo and the Simca was Simca had more fixed roof cars, whereas the Topolino, the majority of those were the rollback roof that we see in drag racing. No roof, it's open. My Simca had a full steel roof, and it was in 1937. There was a Spanish car called the Barrios from 1959 to 78. These were all owned by Chrysler of Europe. Now, last year I was over in Great Britain for the British Drag Racing Hall of Fame, and it was sponsored by Mopar. Well, Mopar, that's kind of cool. That's Fiat and Ferrari over there. It took a little getting used to. Now, Peugeot started producing bicycles in 1882, and they did produce them through 2005. Why they got out of the bicycle business, I'm not quite sure. They had ProCycle of Canada was acquired, or has acquired the rights to the French-made Peugeot bicycles in North America in 1990. Who knows where those are now? I'm not a bicyclist, so I don't know. Now, other joint ventures they have include ventures in Argentina, Peugeot Fiat Argentina operations. So Peugeot and Fiat already have a collaboration outside Europe. They have a collaboration with China, with the Peugeot Citroën automobiles, a joint venture with a Chinese company called Dongfeng Motor Corporation. And it was established in 1992. Produces a Citroën C-Triomphe, Triomphe, the 207, 307, and 408 models. They produce them in Wuhan. Heard of that place before? Hi, Nigel. How you doing? Hey, Peg. Now, Toyota Peugeot Citroën. There's a collaboration I hadn't heard of before. And they have a joint venture, Toyota Motor Corporation, in the development and manufacturing of city cars for the Czech Republic. Interesting. Toyota Peugeot Citroën Automobile. It manufactures the Citroën C1, Peugeot 108, and the Toyota Aygo, A-Y-G-O. Now, we talked about Chrysler having a connection with Mitsubishi. Peugeot Citroën does as well in Russia. Interesting. There's also another Chinese connection. Chenggang PSA, a 50-50 joint venture with a Chinese company. And they build vehicles and engines. There's also a connection in Iran. Yeah, Iran buys cars. They got cars, guys. They don't manufacture all their own. But Iran Kuduro was established in 2016 and has some Peugeot models there. Peugeot is also associated, as I said, with Mitsubishi, but tried to, but the deal didn't go through in 2010, and that resulted in some vehicles sold as Peugeots and Citroëns in Europe, but they were the Mitsubishi SUVs and an electric vehicle. So we've got a combination coming here. The name of Chrysler Corporation is changing for the third time. It will no longer be called Fiat Chrysler. The Fiat Chrysler name will not appear any longer, except on the individual brands. Those will maintain their identity. Dodge will still be sold as Dodges. Rams will be all the trucks, some American made, some made by Fiat. Chrysler will stay Chrysler. What else is going to happen? We don't know. Will Citroën and Peugeot come into the country? Speculation is that they may. But will they come in under their own names? Don't know. And they're going to have to do some test marketing to see if people actually remember them. And chances are, as with the situation with Fiat taking over Chrysler, they won't remember. They won't remember the failures. They won't remember the problems. Fiat left with their tail between their legs. Their cars were rustling away. On a quiet night, you could hear your 124 disappearing in your driveway. We'll fix it again, Tony. Name associated with the word Fiat? It's true. It's based on fact. Fiat has been making owners into mechanics for decades. Has that changed? Yes, they have improved. No question about it. Is this the sign of the end of the Chrysler Corporation as we know it? Yes. Is it the end of the Chrysler Corporation altogether? No. They'll still come on. They'll still be built. But again, it's an aging product line. The vehicles that are sold by Chrysler Corporation today, or FCA, were designed during the days when Daimler owned the Chrysler Corporation. These are old designs. They've been improved over the years. But how long can you sell a Dodge Challenger that has a body style that is almost 16 years old? 17 years old? I don't know. Time will tell, and we'll see. Ford and General Motors, they're doing all right. Ford dropped off the Mercury line and pretty much everything else they held and just produce the Ford line of vehicles today. They're no longer associated with Volvo or Jaguar. They have no real luxury brand other than Lincoln, and Lincoln is basically morphed into what Mercury used to be with higher line Ford products. General Motors, well, they chopped their head off too, eliminating most of their brands that were successful. Chrysler did the same thing. Plymouth was their lead line for many, many years, and they dumped it. So over the years, we've seen a loss of many vehicles. Sam is saying Jeep Cherokee Renegade FCA products. Yes, they will remain that. They will remain with their current names. Chrysler Pacifica, Voyager, yes, but these are old designs. They are produced by FCA, but their configurations are basically updated versions that have been around for a long time. The new Ram is still the old Ram with just an updated body. There is no all new products out there. New Wrangler, FCA. We can say they're FCA because the improvements and the modifications over the years have come from FCA, but their basic concept and designs still date back to even before Daimler. What's going to happen with Chrysler Corporation? As we know it, it's gone. Will it succeed and live on? We'll see what happens. Sam, I do love that stuff from Chrysler, from FCA, but they've been improved. They haven't been totally redesigned from the ground up. Have they? You got the right information. You'll tell me. I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've got Gas, the morning edition, where today we bash FCA. I will continue to bash Fiat. They left the country in shame, and bringing them back, I'm not a fan of it. Although I do like the looks of the 600. and I have driven the electric version of it. It was kind of cool. I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've got gas. The morning edition. The Great American Auto Scene. Since 1990, your source for automotive information, humor, and trivia. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate the input you give me. You've got far more knowledge about what's going on in today's automotive market than I do, and I do appreciate your comments and your assistance. You guys take care. You have a great day. GAAS, the Great American Auto Scene, brought to you by Irwindale Speedway, Irwindale Drag Strip. They're racing again, folks. But unless you're a racer, you can't go. No spectators yet. We'll get that straightened out soon, I hope. And they're limiting it to 100 cars. So if you want to race at Irwindale, contact them by email and get your reservation in so you can be part of the racing going on. It's back. Oval track and drag strip are operational. On other news, Fontana Speedway and drag strip closed for the remainder of the year at least. What's going to happen after the first of the year? Will the car hobby open back up again? Time will tell. Stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas, the morning edition. You have a great day. And check out my website and my Facebook page because you can see where gas plays each and every day. And it is just about everywhere I can get it. You guys take care. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to Wheels and Waves on Sunday. Expected guests, John DiAugustino, supercar builder. Tony Dow used to play on the TV show Leave It to Beaver. He's going to be there. He may even bring his Corvair that he had back in the day, and it was restored and willed back to him just a few years ago. There'll be others, including a beautiful Cobra, real Cobra, coming in. You got to see it. Wheels and Waves in Malibu on Sunday. Starts at 7 a.m. Be there. We'll see you. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas. Thanks, Sam. I do appreciate the information you've been giving me and the corrections you make to some of the stuff I say, because I'm not all-knowing, but I do like this hobby and this sport and the industry. Thank you very much, folks. You have a great day. See you Monday or Sunday if you go to Wheels and Waves.